Striking workers at the US aerospace company Boeing have rejected a new offer, which included a 35% pay rise over 4 years. The union has vowed to extend the 6-week strike until a pension plan is reinstated. The union representing the workers says almost 2/3 voted against Boeing's offer. The strike has compounded the company's deep financial crisis. Quarterly losses have surged to $6 billion. And for more on the Boeing strike, I'm now joined by Stephen Beardsley from the business department. Stephen, 35% over 4 years, plus a one-time bonus of $7,000. Sounds like a good deal. Why did they reject it?
Gerhard, a 12% pay hike as soon as they signed this thing, 3 more pay hikes over the next 3 years, that adds up to 35%. If you compound that, it's actually closer to 40%. Add to that a signing bonus and some other perks. Why would anyone vote against this thing? And yet almost 2/3 did. So the reason is because many of those workers are looking at the past 10 years, a time in which their wages have risen less than 10%, but the costs that they face have risen by about 40%. So they're still licking their wounds from a tough time in which their real wages, the amount that they took home once they accounted for their expenses, fell and fell and fell. So you can understand why they're very impatient to see wage hikes happen faster and more towards the front. Keep in mind, a lot of these people live in the Seattle area, one of the most expensive regions in the U.S. The other thing was that benefit pension that you mentioned, that traditional pension. It's a defined benefit. That means the company promises you that you take home X amount of dollars per year once you retire. Boeing did away with that in 2014, and they replaced it with an investment-based pension fund, which is much more precarious for workers. Many of them don't like that. Boeing says it's not going to bring the old one back because it's too expensive. Many younger workers probably don't care, but clearly there is a portion of these workers that does really care and that might push for that. The question is, we don't know for how many people that's an actual deal breaker.
Now, the strike is pretty tough on the company, with losses of tens of millions of dollars per day. What's going to happen next?
It's hard to say. We know that Boeing is burning cash right now. They are burning it left and right. They need to deliver planes, frankly, to make money. And when their workers are on strike, they're not going to deliver planes either to commercial airlines or to militaries. So they're looking at cost savings. They're going to have to borrow a lot more. They're going to have to sell a lot more shares. That's going to change their business operations down the line. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen. We know that there's going to be streamlining plans, cost cuts, and that positions will probably be cut. The company has said so far that's going to be about 10% of all positions, and I believe that's about 17,000 positions is what they're looking at. So this is going to have serious consequences down the line, and that's even before you factor in the costs that are going to come with the new contract for labor whenever something does finally happen.
Boeing also has a new CEO, and he announced a fundamental cultural change. What does that mean, and what effect will that have?
Yeah, I mean, the things that Kelly Ortberg are saying is exactly what you would expect someone in his position to say. You know, Boeing is really just a place on fire, and it has been. And he says that, you know, he wants to see the company more present in the whole production chain from design down to the factory floor. But that also makes you wonder, where was Boeing in the first place? Where has it been over this time? And what does that mean going forward when many managers have been working in this style for so long? You know, Ortberg says that this is a large ship, essentially, this company is, that's going to take time to turn around. But what's clear with the strike right now is that he's not the only captain of it, and that this union is going to decide. And when you have such a division between union and management, 64%, and this is after the union president said that he thought that they would accept this deal, or that he thought that the vote would at least be close. It wasn't, 64%. So the question is, where does it go from now? And that's something that we're all going to be watching.
Stephen Beardsley, DW Business. Thank you very much, Stephen.